Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. Just when Luo Feng was pondering the relationship between Rong Jun and Huge Axe Founder looked around all the Universe Masters and smiled. We haven't seen this for a while. All the Universe Masters gather here today. All the 19 Universe Masters laughed. We're here today because we want to give Luo Feng a formal welcome. Huge Axe Founder looked to Luo Feng. From today on, there will be one more Universe Mazer within the human race. Luo Feng has the clone technique, and his surviving ability is ranked top 10 in the universe. It's lucky for us humans to have him. Most of the Universe Masters looked to Luo Feng, and some of them transmitted their voices to discuss. Apparently, Huge Axe Founder's assertion that Luo Feng's surviving ability was ranked in the top 10 startled them. It seems Huge Axe Founder knows about my remote ocean body, Luo Feng thought. Whereas the Universe Masters from other streams haven't known about it. Otherwise, they won't be that surprised. According to the rules of us humans, Huge Axe Founder said, smiling, anyone who becomes a Universe Master can be bestowed a valuable as precious as a top-tier true treasure weapon by our race. Luo Feng, what do you want? Luo Feng couldn't help exclaiming. This was one of the differences between the pinnacle race and the weaker ones. Even for the Northern Territory Alliance, which was one of the top 9 powers, Universe Masters wouldn't be bestowed valuables, as there were too many races and great beings, unless some mighty Universe Masters offered to join the alliance. Just name your demand, Luo Feng. Huge Axe Founder looked to Luo Feng. All the Universe Masters looked to Luo Feng as well. Luo Feng turned to Huge Axe Founder and smiled. I don't want other true treasures, but I do want my territory, the Milky Way, to be reconstructed, and I want to stay there forever. I want to stay in my home forever and make it more stable. Stay in the Milky Way forever, said Primal Chaos City leader. The other Universe Masters were all a bit surprised. Normally, Universe Masters would choose secret region like the Primal Secret region. It was unusual for a Universe Master to be stationed in one galaxy, but Primal Chaos City leader didn't try to hinder that, as he knew how much Luo Feng valued his home planet, especially since he had named himself Milky Way Horde leader. Luo Feng wants to be stationed in the Milky Way forever. The other Universe Masters were all surprised. However, they didn't voice their confusion, as the Universe Masters from the virtual universe didn't say much. I will, of course, allow that. Huge Axe Founder nodded. The Milky Way is only one galaxy, and one top-tier true treasure is more than enough to stabilize it. It's indeed enough, said Luo Feng. It would be costly for one Universe Master to be stationed in the Milky Way and to reconstruct it. Although it was not as valuable as a top-tier true treasure, it wouldn't be much different. Besides, Luo Feng had a great many true treasures with him, so he didn't need ordinary true treasures. I remember that Luo Feng wants his home planet, Earth, back, said Huge Axe Founder again. Luo Feng's eyes immediately gleamed. The other Universe Masters went silent and all looked to Huge Axe Founder. Now that Luo Feng has become a Universe Master and is sitting with us, I should return the ownership of the Earth to Luo Feng, said Huge Axe Founder. Huge Axe, the scaled giant with 3 horns suddenly said. Universe Masters should make contributions and support an entire race. After being bestowed at the start, Universe Masters should make contributions before they gain more. True treasures need to be exchanged with true treasure points after contributions. And the same rule applies here. Milky Way Horde leader shouldn't get anything for free now. The other half of the ownership of Earth belongs to our race, and Milky Way Horde leader should contribute valuables as precious as that. Yes, he should give valuables to exchange, agreed some other Universe Masters. Luo Feng looked to that scaled giant with the 3 horns. It was Huang Jian Master. Huang Jian Master even gave Luo Feng a head nod. Huang Jian. Primal Chaos City leader said, the other half of ownership of Earth is under my virtual universe, and the contract was signed between my virtual universe company and Luo Feng. Although you all have offspring on Earth, those 50 billion mixed elements are paid by my virtual universe company. I can totally give it back to Luo Feng, as the other half of the ownership belongs to my virtual universe company. The virtual universe company is a part of the human race, said Huang Jian Master. How can the virtual universe company give out an asset like that? He should contribute before he gains. Ha ha. I bought the Earth for 50 billion mixed elements, said Primal Chaos City Leader. Luo Feng, just pay 50 billion mixed elements to buy the other half of the ownership back. 50 billion mixed elements. Was that a joke? Any treasure would be much more precious than that. To Universe Masters, 50 billion mixed elements were like a drop of water, yet the Earth was a boundless ocean. There was no comparison. We all know how precious the Earth is, Huang Jian Master said with a frown. 50 billion mixed elements is nothing. Don't mention how you purchased it with 50 billion mixed elements. Firstly, we didn't know about the potential of Earth, and also, Luo Feng was extremely weak. 50 billion mixed elements were enough for him. Oh, Huang Jian, are you trying to interfere with the trade of my virtual universe company? Said Primal Chaos City Leader. You're not the person in charge of the virtual universe company. I am. I'm not interfering, said Huang Jian Master, but we need to have rules. If it were a personal asset of yours, you could deal with it however you want. However, it's an asset of the virtual universe company, and it belongs to Teacher Origin. How can you just give away valuables of the virtual universe company like that? They kept arguing. One of them was the person in charge of the virtual universe company, while the other was the founder of the Universe Mercenary Alliance. Both of them were top-tier universe masters, and held a similar status. Qingdong Master and Peng Gong Master stayed silent, sitting aside. After all, they were related to the Earth. Okay, Huge Axe Founder said. Huang Jian Master and Primal Chaos City Leader looked to Huge Axe Founder. Huge Axe Founder frowned. I've said so. When Luo Feng is able to sit with me, the other half of the ownership will be returned to Luo Feng. I should live up to my promise. Since the other half of the ownership of the Earth belongs to the Virtual Universe Company, I'll just give a pinnacle true treasure to the Virtual Universe to cover the loss. Huge Axe. Huge Axe, said Huang Jian Master. Huge Axe Founder, even Luo Feng couldn't help shouting. It's done, Huge Axe said. He glanced at all the Universe Masters, and they went silent. The main issue was to welcome Luo Feng. They also talked about the original stars and Universe Ocean before the meeting was over. The Universe Masters of the Virtual Universe were dismissed. Only Luo Feng was called by Primal Chaos City Leader. Teacher, why does it end with Huge Axe Founder transferring a pinnacle true treasure to the Virtual Universe Company? Luo Feng couldn't help asking, as he felt like he owed Huge Axe Founder. Don't overthink it. Primal Chaos City Leader shook his head. Huge Axe Founder is a Universe Supreme Master within our human race, and he has the greatest number of true treasures. He will just give away true treasures to races. Many powerful true treasures that need to be exchanged in the races are given away by Huge Axe Founder. It's nothing to him to give us one. After this is finished, I'll give the true treasure back to our race. Luo Feng nodded. It wasn't easy to support an entire race. The weak would be at a disadvantage if they were alone, but lone Universe Supreme Masters could live a relaxing life. They stood among the strongest in the universe, and thus were able to obtain many true treasures. However, they only needed several true treasures. Others were useless to them. On the contrary, if the Universe Supreme Masters were related to a race, they not only needed to be careful, but also needed to make continuous contributions to the race he belonged to. I understand. Luo Feng nodded. He knew that he needed to return the favor from Huge Axe Founder. Don't blame Huang Jian Master for trying to obstruct that, said Primal Chaos City Leader. It's all about interest. Look at other Universe Masters. Did you wonder why others didn't say anything? Because it's related to the interests of the other 4 streams as well. Huang Jian Master was basically speaking for them. Almost every issue in the universe has to do with interests, either individual or relating to race. Luo Feng nodded. By the way, Primal Chaos City leader looked at Luo Feng. Do you really plan to stay in the Milky Way galaxy forever? Yes. Luo Feng nodded. Forever. Universe masters in the human race are usually stationed in the important places in the human territory, said Primal Chaos City leader. For one thing, there are plenty of universe knights, undying fighters, and talents who need protection from the supreme beings, and for another, there are several universe masters in the important places. They can help each other out if there's a catastrophe. If there's only one of you staying in the Milky Way, other great beings will need to spend some time to get there if other races attack it. Of course, some universe masters choose to have one of their bodies to guard their homes. You're not changing your mind. Luo Feng smiled and said, no. I'll guard the Milky Way forever. He had fought for such a long time, and even risked his own life, for what? To stand at the top of the universe and protect his home. There were volcanoes in the God country, and burning magma burst out of the volcanoes. It was a country of magma. Every moment, there was magma bursting out of the volcanoes. At the center of the God country was a towering godly palace surrounded by endless flames, and there was a sculpture in front of the godly palace. It was a sculpture of Mo Luo. A being showed up in front of the godly palace. It was Mo Luo. Mo Luo was one of the talents in the virtual universe company, and had become undying 30,000 years ago. Although he was only an official level undying, he was a pinnacle official level undying known as Wild Beast Official. After being beaten by Luo Feng, he had been craving to surpass Luo Feng. Unfortunately, not only did he not surpass Luo Feng, but he was now overpowered by Bo Lan and Rong Jun, both of whom were Emperor-level undying now. Although he was slightly inferior to Bo Lan and Rong Jun, he still demonstrated great potential, which was why he became a disciple of South Fox Country Master. Standing in the sky, Missouri Luo became startled. Someone's here. It was his God country. How could others enter his God country? 3 towering beings showed up in a corner of the God country, and they teleported themselves to in front of Mo Luo. Mo Luo took a look at the 3 beings and felt relieved. He walked up and said, "Greetings, teacher." South Fox Country Master looked at him with pity. South Fox Country Master looked to the 2 universe masters beside him and nodded. Ganwu, North Lava. Ganwu Country Master gazed at Mo Luo coldly and shouted, "Mo Luo, are you aware of your crimes?" Crimes? Luo Feng was terrified. He couldn't help looking to his teacher, South Fox Country Master, who looked gloomy. This told him something was wrong. "I've been following the rules consistently," he said, "and I haven't done anything against the laws. I don't know what crimes I've committed." The Universe Knight in White, emanating sense of indifference, smirked. "South Fox," he said, "your disciple still dares to quibble." "Not quibbling," Mo Luo said anxiously. "Please give me the evidence that I've committed crimes, teacher." He looked to his teacher ardently. "You still don't know your crimes." South Fox Country Master shook his head. "This is an order from Milky Way Horde leader. If you admit your crimes, you'll be sent to the First Star Domain prison for 10,000 eras. If you don't, you'll be executed." Mo Luo shook his body and looked petrified. "Executed? I've committed crimes. I admit it." Mo Luo yelled. "Teacher, I admit it. You 2 Universe Knights, I admit it." "What crimes?" North Lava Knight asked. Ganwu Country Master stared at Mo Luo coldly. "What crimes?" said Mo Luo. "I don't really know." Mo Luo was apprehensive. He started to think quickly. His mind operated faster than it ever had in his life. He had been born an orphan, and after all the life or death experiences, he had formed a mature way of living. He would kill all those who posted a threat to him. And he wouldn't leave any traces. Now that these seniors from the Virtual Universe Company were here to question him, all the incidents flooded his mind. He had done many cruel things, but, Theoretically, he had left no trace of his actions. There were some beings who knew what he had done, but no one had evidence. Milky Way Horde leader's order. Thought Mo Luo. Who is this Milky Way Horde leader? Milky Way. A name came to Mo Luo's mind. Luo Feng. Luo Feng's home planet is Earth in the Milky Way. Could he be Milky Way Horde leader? Mo Luo was undying, but he was so scared that he was sweating. He'd been following Luo Feng's process, and had been terrified when he'd learned that Luo Feng had become a disciple of Primal Chaos City leader. He was certain that if Luo Feng divulged his actions to Primal Chaos City leader, he would be doomed. However, Mo Luo had also done his research. He knew Primal Chaos City leader was famously fair. He won't prosecute me without evidence, thought Mo Luo. Initially, he had been scared, but he'd stopped being worried because Luo Feng hadn't revealed anything, even after all this time. As for Luo Feng's record on the original stars, Undying fighters were not qualified to know about the original stars. Only Universe Masters, Universe Knights, and incredibly powerful, invincible emperors were qualified to know the truth about Luo Feng. Mo Luo had no idea what had happened. He didn't know about Luo Feng hunting on the original stars. Neither did he know that Luo Feng had killed more than 6,000 Universe Knights in one move. Luo Feng wants me dead. Mo Luo raised his head and looked at the three Universe Knights. North Lava Knight and Ganwu Country Master gazed at him coldly while South Fox Country Master kept shaking his head. It is him. Mo Luo looked at South Fox Country Master. Teacher, even you don't believe me. I didn't do anything. I adventured on Demon Note Mountain before, and we've had a feud since then because of valuables. I can't believe he still holds such a grudge against me after all these years. Teacher, please be fair. Show justice. North Lava Knight smirked. You're still quibbling. Interesting, said Ganwu Country Master and shook his head. It doesn't matter anymore. South Fox Country Master sighed. Mo Luo, I know that you're decisive, but I can't believe you're so ruthless. Teacher, I'm being framed, said Mo Luo. He didn't dare to admit it. He would be executed if he admitted it. Teacher. Mo Luo clenched his teeth. Tears welled in his eyes and rolled down his face. I'm being framed. Even if Luo Feng has become a Universe Knight, how can you allege that I'm guilty just because of what he said? I can only die to prove that I'm innocent. Strong godly power restrained every trace of Mo Luo's godly power. He wasn't even able to self-destruct under such suppression. Mo Luo couldn't help staring at Ganwu Country Master. Ganwu Senior, you. Mo Luo knew about resurrection, and was certain he would be revived if he acted indignantly. However, Ganwu Country Master didn't even give him a chance to self-destruct himself. Don't even try, Ganwu Country Master said. We're here to deal with you under the orders of Milky Way Horde leader. You'll be executed now, as you didn't admit to your crimes. Mo Luo's eyes glinted with madness. Milky Way Horde leader. Who is this Milky Way Horde leader? Mo Luo yelled hoarsely. The Mr. Luo Feng you were talking about, said North Lava Knight. Luo Feng. Not possible. He just became a Universe Knight. How long has he been training himself? 100,000 years. How can he command you as only a Universe Knight? Mo Luo shook his head, unwilling to believe it. I know that I'll die, but please tell me who wants me dead. Ganwu Country Master gazed at Mo Luo. It's Mr. Luo Feng. Luo Feng has become a Universe Master. He's a pinnacle being in our human race. A Universe Master. Mo Luo opened his eyes wide. Luo Feng. A Universe Master. The same Luo Feng who had been kicked into the abyss had become a Universe Master. Milky Way Horde leader is a Universe Master, said Ganwu Country Master. How can he frame you? His word is much more adequate than any evidence. You're indeed reckless. You dared to go against the orders of the Virtual Universe Company. No. I didn't. Mo Luo yelled. I don't believe Luo Feng has become a universe master. Not possible. Like the ground being cracked, Mo Luo's godly body started to crumble. It turned into dust, vanishing into thin air. All of a sudden, his god country, which was lively with magma bursting out of volcanoes a moment before, went dead. The volcanoes stopped erupting. And all the volcanoes went dead, and the god country started to turn cold. If Mo Luo could be resurrected, his god country could come back to life. Unfortunately, Mo Luo would never be revived. Let's go. Ganwu Country Master, North Lava Knight, and South Fox Country Master teleported themselves out of the dying god country. Earth, just as Mo Luo was executed. The foreigners living in the floating cities all roared. We must all migrate. Who gave the order? I sold the territory of an entire solar system to get the residential right to live on Earth for 1,000 years. Who's going to compensate me? Not possible. You're trying to expel us. I'll report it back to my family and make you all regret it. After the power of Earth was discovered, residency rights on Earth became incredibly expensive. Only those with solid connections in the 5 powers could enter. Besides, they all went to Earth to give birth to their children, and after their children were born, they would leave Earth in no time. Those were all beings with powerful families in the human territory, and they had paid a huge price to come to Earth. But now, they were all going to be expelled. Virtual Universe Company, Huge Axe Dojo, Universe Mercenary Alliance, Universe First Bank, and Universe Star River Bank gave an order at the same time. Leave the Earth in 3 days. Otherwise, die. Those beings with powerful families were nothing in front of a universe master. All they could do was reluctantly leave Earth. When the enforcement team expelled all the migrants, the pantheon in the solar system also disappeared. From now on, this would be the place where Milky Way Horde leader guarded forever. And mass construction began in the Milky Way. Earth? A black-haired man stood in the solar system, looking at the blue planet. He smiled, stepped into the atmosphere of Earth, and dived. 100,000 years later, what would Earth be like? Long grass would be all about. Amidst all the greenery that embellished the surroundings, there were numerous residential buildings of unique structures. Birds were often seen flying in the sky, which was a deep azure blue. The air would be fresh, and if the standards of human domain were to be applied, then Earth would be categorized as a top-tier SSS-grade life planet of the highest standard. Nature and technology would have achieved perfect harmony. There would be many people, men and women alike, walking along the streets, dressed either in their training gear or just casual clothes. There would not be any public transportation like cars on the roads, and the underground tunnels that connected Earth to the various cities around would be advancing at a speed of 18,000 miles. A speed that allowed the people to arrive at other cities with much ease. Of course, allowing several large continents to stretch across the seabed to form tunnels would also be possible, because of Luo Feng's authority. Earth would be entirely different, Luo Feng gasped in admiration. Shushin smiled and replied, it will be even more different in the future. They walked along the street as a couple, looking just like any other ordinary husband and wife. The other people could not tell the difference at all. Actually, even if one had seen Luo Feng, their memories of him would vanish immediately in the blink of an eye. There was no way they could remember anything about him. Luo Feng observed everything around him carefully. Earlier on, he had sent Remote Ocean Body to garrison Earth. Yet Remote Ocean Body merely sat cross-legged in silence, in a quiet room deep within the Luo's family house. He would only make an appearance if a crucial situation occurred. Except for the other 2 times when Luo Feng had to accompany his family, Remote Ocean Body did not make any move at all. Shushin, I realized that star traveler levels are frequently seen here, said Luo Feng. I saw many along the way. He could not hold it back longer, so he asked, are star traveler levels that common? Over 10,000 years, Earth would not have been able to develop so fast where the majority was star traveler levels. Shushin shook her head. Oh well. The mysteries of Earth are top secrets, though they were never disclosed. However, Large families of the top 5 powers like the Virtual Universe Company, the Huge Axe Dojo, and the Universe Mercenary Alliance were all finding ways to enter Earth. You should have figured this out by now. The right to reside on Earth is in hot demand now. Luo Feng nodded. Previously, immigrants of the Earth's ocean would be aliens, while those on land would be us Earthlings, Shushin said. Over 10,000 years of development, Earthlings are now scattered all over the Ganwu universe, and even in other universes. The numbers are immeasurable. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. In the past, the Earthling population has never been able to achieve a breakthrough. That was because there was a limitation of land. With the limitation lifted, there was a large quantity of grains as provisions. If there was a rapid multiplication of Earthling population thereafter, it would be understandable. Said Shushin said. Just like that, the Earthling population has multiplied to such a massive number that it might be incomparable. Putting others aside, just the number of people in our Luo family is intimidating enough. Luo Feng nodded. The population in Luo family had long exceeded the size of one star field. No matter how development progressed, to increase the population size by 100 million times in 5,000 years was normal, but for a development that had progressed for more than 100,000 years, the population size would be so massive that it sounded exaggerated. Regardless of how much power the Luo family had, their massive size would still go under the influence of territorial limitations. Therefore many members of the Luo family had to settle down on other planets, or even in other universes. If the massive Luo family would face such a situation, what would the overall situation on Earth look like? At the Earth Management Association level, making use of the virtual universe would still be impossible to create identification records of every Earthling. After all, in the vast universe, if unfortunate events like air crashes happen and Earthlings were caught and enslaved by mineral planets, in a place where the population was so immense that it was impossible to keep track, the Earth Management Association would not be able to cover everything, or everyone, comprehensively. The population is too big, Shushin said. Now we have to authenticate all the Earthlings' identities. Firstly, identity registration. More than 99% have been documented. Secondly, gene authentication. The Earthling branch of the family has a unique kind of gene that is very different from the other races among humanity. On Earth, land domain must be occupied by Earthling residents. If it were occupied by the other races, no matter how powerful or wealthy they would not be granted the right of abode. Time passed, and the right to reside on Earth is in hot demand now. There are some residents on Earth who yearn for a more luxurious life. Therefore, they sold off their rights of abode and left Earth for another life planet. Maybe this was how some became planet horde leaders. Because the right to reside on the land on Earth can only be traded between Earthlings, the price was not as exaggerated as the value that alien immigrants had set. But it was nonetheless extremely high. Wanting to become a planet horde leader, wanting a life with illimitable luxuries, or wanting to become a great being with the ability to purchase great quantities of resources. The bottom line is, the right to reside on land on Earth is continually being traded, as there are some Earth elites with status and power who are continually entering Earth. There will be changes from generation to generation. Those who are able to enter Earth are all the cream of the crop. They have roamed the universe and established their business empires, or have become great fighters, or great spirit readers. Therefore, more than half of our elites from the trillions of people of our entire Earth branch are gathered here on Earth. Shushin smiled. Which was why, on Earth, star traveler levels are frequently seen, even star levels to universe levels can often be seen. There are also quite a few undying beings living here on Earth. Luo Feng sighed and nodded. The undying spirit. It was true that with enough cultivation, the chances of becoming a great being would increase. Now, the Earthling branch had a total of 11 undying spirits, including Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God. 5 were staying on Earth. The number of sector lords was even bigger. With such might and power, it was no wonder universe masters of the 5 major factions of humanity thought so highly of Earth. The right of abode on Earth's land can be freely traded as one pleases. Luo Feng asked. So long as it is a transaction between an Earthling and Earth, free trading is the best option. Shushan shook her head. One end is willing to buy, and the other end is willing to sell. Who can stop them? This would help our Earth branches, holy ground, to continue rising up the ranks. After all, this is where over half the elites from the Earth branch are gathered. But Earthlings of high status and with strong powers would all want their future generations to get stronger, even if those Earthlings were already used to living on other planets. But for their younger generations, they would purchase the right of abode on Earth and send 2 to 3 family members over to stay here on Earth. It can also be said this way. Earth is where more than 50% of elites of the Earthling branch are gathered. Out of the first million Earth elites, 99% of them hold the right of abode on Earth. Luo Feng nodded. This was good, too. The longer they took, the higher the status of the holy ground, Earth, would be. It had only been over 100,000 years of developing since the Earthling branch became a universe. There were many aspects of it that were yet to be considered extremely powerful, like the number of great beings, the power of its associations, and many more. As time passed, elites of this branch would gradually emerge into prominence. According to what the higher-ups of humanity calculated, the Earthling branch's continual development would be comparable to at least 10% of humanity. How many undying spirits would that be? How many universe knights? Clearly, the potential of the Earthling branch had just emerged and had yet to be fully unleashed. This unleashing of potential would need enough time. The greatest difficulty now is that the outstanding youths of our Earthling branch are unable to receive the best cultivation they could get, Shushan said. Based on the data we retrieved from the alien immigrants, once a wife gets pregnant, she should enter Earth within the first 3 months of pregnancy. If the entire process from the gestation period of the fetus to the day the baby is born happens under the influence of Earth's environment, then there is bound to be a transformation. Therefore, it is crucial to rush to Earth during the first 3 months of pregnancy. Any later than that, and the effect will be very different. Our Earth Management Association manages a large number of Earthling youths, cultivating them with great care, then singling out the cream of the crop for deeper cultivation. We have wealth. But teaching them required a great deal of resources, for instance, a good teacher and a conducive environment for them to train in. Our family alone is insufficient. What we have come up with so far is nothing compared to the cultivation mechanism of the Ganwu universe. This has, to a certain degree, affected the rising of the Earthling branch. Luo Feng nodded and considered for a while. I will make arrangements as quickly as I can, he Luo Feng. Cultivation was very important. Like Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God, if they had not stepped off Earth and advanced into the universe, if Luo Feng had not received Yunmo Star Master's treasure, and Barbata's guidance, then naturally Golden Horned Beast would be gloriously sacrificed. The 3 of them would obviously be greatly limited, and the chances of attaining the universe level would also have been very low. Yet the moment they received cultivation, all 3 each displayed a dazzling light, and were completely different right away. And if the Earthling branch wanted to rise up to recognition, cultivating the new and younger generations was obviously crucial. The mechanism that other universe masters used to cultivate their younger generations is highly matured, said Luo Feng. I shall take some reference from them and then make use of my own resources to establish my own mechanism. That should do. Luo Feng nodded to himself. Humanity has many places for cultivating their kind. The only problem is that even universe knights are not qualified to arrange for a large batch of members to undergo training simultaneously. But a universe master could. For instance, sending their family members to Blood River World, or some other places. Of course, Luo Feng also needed to pay a small price for it, but to him, it was a piece of cake. After the alien immigrants' major move out of Earth, Earth started to undergo transformation once again. Making use of marine resources, recoordinating ocean and land, the natural order was enhanced to nearing perfection. Also, some restructuring was done to the numerous floating cities that were once occupied by alien immigrants to make them more suited for Earthlings to live in. The floating cities were normally a few hundred stories to 1,000 stories high. If residing on land was said to be done using 1 or 2 stories of land, then on a floating city of an alien immigrant, it would be considered a highly effective use of space. Adding up the surface area of the vast oceans, the total would come to a much greater amount compared to that of land. Although the distance between floating cities was vast, when all the floating cities suspended in the skies above the vast oceans like the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and the Indian Ocean were put together, the amount of space could accommodate a few 100 billion people. This will be able to accommodate a few 100 billion of people. We can then allow many young Earthling mothers to quickly enter Earth. We should also try our best to get them to arrive here on Earth within the first 3 months of pregnancy. Earthlings who were born on Earth, their cultivability is much stronger. On the other hand, for Earthlings born on extraterrestrial planets, the chances of producing great beings are worrying because they are much too low. Various plans were speedily formulated. Then, one by one, they were implemented. The first thing Luo Feng did when he returned to Earth was to make use of his power to start boosting the development of the Earth branch. He made a perfect combination out of his resources and the race's resources, which then sped up the rate of development of the Earthling branch tremendously. He believed that soon, it would not be wishful thinking for the Earthling branch to want to be stronger than the Yang Shan race branch. If the Earthling branch can have some universe knights and a large number of undying spirits, and go on to see the emergence of a universe master, that would be even greater. Luo Feng secretly looked forward to this. However, it would require a long time. This video will end here.